Well, we're having a very exciting afternoon. It seems to be one exciting day dominated by the far right after another. And today I want to explore the curious case of Nigel Farage's Reform UK itself, a party now leading the national polls by 9 points, yet with a future that remains actually precarious, volatile and internally contradictory. What looks like an unstoppable insurgency may in truth be one of the most combustible flashpoints in modern British politics. Let's begin with the headlines. Reform UK sits at 32%, ahead of Labour on 23% and the Conservatives on a measly 18%. Farage is now viewed by voters as more in touch, more capable, more dynamic than Keir Starmer. His personal satisfaction ratings are at their highest ever. In ordinary times that would suggest momentum. In silly season as we are now, it suggests something more uncertain, a kind of political hallucination born from dissatisfaction rather than admiration. Now, consider this. If Farage were to win, he would immediately be forced to implement policies that would alienate his own supporters. James Orr, the Cambridge philosopher and Farage ally, has admitted publicly that reform would need to force nasty cough medicine down the country's throat in the first 100 days. That's not populism, and that's austerity with a pint glass. You cannot win power on tax cuts, benefit boosts, and patriotism, and then unveil public sector cuts and hard-nosed Trumpian economic doctrine. The base will revolt. Reform would collapse under the weight of its own contradictions. And we shouldn't forget, this is a party with only 4 MPs. It has no serious experience of governance, and the MPs it would get under, if this poll were to translate into real MPs, would probably all start revolting. Its local councillors are largely untested, many of them run away. Its policy platform is still being invented. Its most senior political figure is a man who's spent 25 years railing against the establishment, not preparing to join it. Moreover, the infrastructure of Reform UK is embryonic. You don't know at this moment whether it's going to turn into a baby or a dolphin. Its upcoming or a snake. Its upcoming annual conference will be held not in a secure Westminster compound, but in a corner of NEC in Birmingham, shared with a convention for anime streamers. Reform is not yet a party in power, it's a party of performance, and the business world knows this. Behind the scenes, lobbyists and corporates are intrigued, but also nervous. Some are attending the conference, but discreetly, quietly, cautiously. Farage, for many, still represents risk. His brand is Brexit, not balance sheets, and Brexit didn't work out so well, did it? And when firms inquire about Reform's policy team, they find a vacuum filled only with aspirational sound bites, slogans, and libertarian generalities. Reform's surge is also a story of Labour's stagnation. Starmer's post-election honeymoon has curdled into disillusion, if there ever was a honeymoon. His government looks tired after barely a year, riven by internal rebellions, U-turns, and a failure to seize the initiative on housing, on welfare, and on tax. Rachel Reeves' reversals on winter fuel payments and her unpopular capital gains tax hikes have compounded the problem. The left is bleeding to reform in the north, at Corbyn and Sultana's new Progressive Party, your party, in the cities. The right is, and your party has hardly started. The right is regrouping under Farage's populist banner. But here's the twist. Farage's success is fragile. He's surged not because of a coherent vision, but because of the political emptiness around him. You know, you only have to take a look over to his left, to Kemi Badenoch to see just how empty everything is. Should Labour or the Conservatives choose to actually contest his arguments rather than imitate them, they would expose the shallowness of his offer. A party that claims to back the NHS but wants a smaller state, that rails against immigration but says little on worker shortages, that offers tax cuts and benefit hikes without fiscal arithmetic. Such a party is not ready for government, is not ready for scrutiny. It's ducking scrutiny. It's avoiding scrutiny with every effort. The paradox is here. Farage looks unbeatable only because Starmer looks insipid and the Conservatives look broken. And that judgment is quite reasonable. But swap to a new leadership, a bold cabinet reshuffle from Labour, or a post-Tory leadership reboot, under someone less toxic than Badenoch, or even a different party, maybe even if the Lib Dems were to move in, which I strongly suspect they will. And the Farage project starts to look like what it is, a protest vehicle, not a governing one. And this poll lead, it's a mirage. It reflects the nation's disdain for the status quo, not enthusiasm for reform. And like many mirages, it will fade as voters approach the brutal reality of policy, governance and hard decisions. Farage's moment may be now, but unless he invents himself from anti-politician to actual statesman, it will be a short, sharp and very public fall, no matter how brilliant his rhetoric and his personality may be in front of the cameras.